Hey guys, welcome back to an Older Gay Guy Show YouTube channel. My name is Joey Hernandez. Thank you for joining me today. Have you ever had an experience, a negative experience? Maybe it was an argument with somebody. Maybe it was a breakup with a boyfriend. Maybe it was when you told your parents that you were gay. A negative experience that just went so bad that you were embarrassed. You were traumatized by it, that you can't stop yourself from thinking about it. You run almost a movie of it around in your brain over and over and over again. Well, if you have, there's a little technique I learned that's going to help you. I should make the disclaimer that I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist, anything like that. I'm just a guy that has been depressed, has anxiety disorders. I have a little obsessive compulsion disorder, and I also am bipolar. God, that's a lot. But anyway, I'm not a therapist. So I forget where I learned this. This was something that I used to do all the time. I used to run the movie in my brain. I would see everything. I would see the scene like I was in it. And I would remember everything, where it was, who the person was, what they were wearing, what they said, what I said, back and forth. And it was traumatizing me over and over again to the point where it was debilitating me. I just could not get beyond it. And then I learned a technique, and I'm not sure where this came from. I don't think a therapist told me. I think I read it somewhere and decided to try it because there was a period when I used to get a lot of self-help books out of the library, and I would kind of comb through them in addition to having regular therapy sessions. There were things that had happened in my life that I just could not get beyond, even though it had been 20 years or 30 years ago. The technique I'm going to explain might sound a little silly to you, but honestly, it really does work. And I had mentioned this to somebody just a couple weeks ago, and they started to do this, and they said after years of having this awful film running in their minds over again, they were able to break that cycle. And so what you do is you have to realize that when you sit and you think about this and you run that movie through your brain, you're doing it basically the same way every single time. What they said that might have hurt you, you hear very clearly. Your response back to them, you hear clearly. But sometimes your response back to them is something that you say, damn, you know what? I wish I had said this to them instead of what I said. I wish I had the balls and I put my foot down and I was strong and I confronted them. But that's probably not what happened in this little film of yours. Usually it's somebody dominating you, somebody doing something to you, and you are kind of a helpless victim in it. So if you have this film running in your mind, and you've done it so many times, it's second nature to you. As an example, say it was a member of your family, and you are driving to go to a family dinner, Thanksgiving, and this person is going to be there. And so as you're driving to the destination, you're running this movie through you, and you're getting all upset again, and your blood pressure is going up, and you're grabbing the wheel a little harder because you know you're going to see this person, and you are trying to deal with what happened. What you do is when you run this movie through your mind, you have to change it. You have to make it so that it is not a traumatic memory. And the first thing that you should do is to run that movie backward. Now that sounds a little silly, but think about it. You're having an argument with somebody. They're saying awful things to you. If that's the conclusion, start them by saying awful things to you and what your response was, and you come back to the point where you first encountered the person. So that same movie might be 2 minutes or 3 minutes in your mind. You go backwards with it. The next step is to change the characters that are in this film. So as an example, I would take this memory and I would make cartoon characters. And what I would always do is I would be Wile E. Coyote from the Roadrunner. And the person I was arguing with, the other person that upset me so much, I made into Fred Flintstone. Big mouth, yelling. And so I would run this as cartoon characters, but you have them do funny things that throws that film off a little bit. Maybe Dino the dinosaur runs in and licks Fred's face, and Wile E. Coyote goes to push down the dynamite to blow up, and he blows himself up. You still run the movie, and maybe even the same things are said, but now they're said by cartoon characters. And you really picture in your mind that they're cartoon characters doing silly things. The whole point is to mess with that memory, to make it to the point where it's not going to be the same. You are going to start being confused over time. And if you stick with this technique, I can almost guarantee that if you keep doing this, as silly as it seems, as redundant as it seems, if you're playing with that memory so you don't allow the film to run in the same sequence that it always did, that's going to make a big difference. You will be able to break that memory and you won't be running that same awful film through your mind over and over again. So it's not just the fact that it happened once and you were traumatized by it, but you're re-traumatizing yourself over and over by running this film and by breaking it so it's not the same as it was, running it backwards, changing their voices to high-pitched little voices, making them cartoon characters, different things, whatever you want to do that will change that memory, that will change that sequence out of your mind. It's really something that can help you. Try it. If you're bothered by this kind of thing, try it. You have nothing to lose. You know, I used to have memories, all kinds of problems with my mother. My mother died over 40 years ago. And yet some of the things that she has said to me stick in my brain. And I used to torture myself. I would lay in bed at night in the darkness and just imagining these scenes going on. And I would just extend that horrible feeling for years. And once I started doing this technique and I started to change how that movie ran in my mind, I'll tell you, it takes a lot of time. I had to do it over and over 1,000 times, I don't know. But I eventually would break that memory so that when I did think about it, it wouldn't be anything that would bother me anymore. And it was rare that I did think about it. I was able to break that chain. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose, except that awful memory. I haven't done a video for a little while, and as most of you are, I am locked in my house because of the virus that's going around. I think I'm going to be here for quite a long time because I am in some of the danger groups for the virus. So I'm hunkering down and I'll be staying here, and I'm going to do a bunch of podcasts for an Older Gay Guy Show podcast, and I'm going to do a bunch of videos for an Older Gay Guy Show YouTube channel. And I'm going to try not to make it about the virus. Just the fact that I'm locked away and I'm going to have limited ways that I can film. So my husband Paco is trapped in the house here with me. And I'll just show you a little bit of my dog Lola and what's been going on with her and some fun that Paco and I had. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Hey, do you want one of those? Huh? Do you want one of these? Ooh. Yum, 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 yum. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Good girl. Go ahead, pick one out. You want to pick one out? Go ahead. Oh, that's a good girl. What'd you get? That's a good one. That's a good one, huh? Hi, honey.
Hi, sweetie.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
So, you all know my husband, Paco.
Oh,
Paco, you know
Hi.
everybody.
well,
Individually, by
yes,
name.
By name, yeah.
Yes. What you doing?
Watching baking video.
Bacon videos.
Yeah, well, this is about some tips and tricks from this particular baker. She's really good.
Okay.
So she's just telling what in this time that if you're running out of ingredients or something like that, what you can substitute if you don't have some particular ingredient or something like that.
That's
So
cool.
I just learned that for sugar you can substitute for coconut.
Well,
Coconut palm sugar is one-on-one substitution just to regular sugar, and supposedly this one, coconut palm sugar, has a low glycemic index.
oh, it's not if you don't have sugar, this is the substitute.
Oh yeah.
because
Well,
coconut, whatever sugar, I think it would be
yeah.
even harder.
Okay. I mean, she's just going all over the place questions that people is asking about what they can substitute, but I mean, she might talk about what you can.
And that makes it healthier to use this because of the lower glycemic
Yeah,
index?
in this case, yeah, it would be better.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, good. What fun.
So yeah.
Lola, come here. Come here. Come. Lola, come. 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 What you doing, huh? What are you doing? It's the Lolas. It's the big Lola. Big Lola. Yeah, big kissing. Oh. Lola, help me! Lola, help me! Help me, Lola! Lola, help me! Help me, I'm stuck, Lola, help me! Help me! What? Where are you going? Oh, ow! You saved me! Oh, you saved me, thank you! I was really scared. I didn't know if I was ever gonna get out. But you helped me, thank you. Big belly rubs for that. Huh? The big belly rubs. Yes. Oh, we have loads of fun with our animals. Oh, that's a good girl. I don't think she was this size when we first got her. We just had her over a year now, a few days ago. And I don't remember her being this big when we got her.
I think it was that size.
You think it was this size?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw on a picture of what size she used to be here, because she's a little bit bigger, huh? Ha! Yes, you are. Yes, you are. What fun. Okay, love you.
Bye.
Please do subscribe to the channel if you like this video, and I'll be back in just a few days. Thank you. Bye for now, guys.